Welcome to the viewers of UGC E-Pathshala. I am Dr. Shabbir Ali, working as Associate Professor at VM Salgaonkar College of Law, Panaji, Goa. Presently, I am Head of the Department, LLM and Research Coordinator. Today, I am going to present before you Prisoners and Access to Justice, Module number 14. Today's presentation is mainly we are going to verify enactments dealing with prisoners and constitutional provisions, prisoners and role of judiciary, rights available to prisoners, writ jurisdiction, criminal provisions and prisoners. And let us look into the structure of presentation and we will look into each and every area separately. So, after going through today's presentation, you may learn different objectives. The objectives are you will understand the term prison and its need in our society. You appreciate the specific enactments made in India dealing with or concerning with prisoners. To find out the remedies available to the prisoners under the Indian Constitution. To analyze various provisions available to prisoners under criminal law. Lastly, you may examine the role played by judiciary in incorporating various rights to protect interests of prisoners. Jail is known as prison in many countries. It is a place for detaining prisoners waiting and execution for sentence. Prison is a correctional mechanism. Prison is a place for punishing criminals to correct them, not to commit the crime again, preventing others not to commit a crime, and trying to protect the society and to maintain law and order in this society. Punishment is barbarous, inhuman and degrading. Recently, majority of the countries are looking towards reformation of prisoners. Even human rights activists advocates towards reformation of prisoners. Prison authorities, judicial authorities and police should adopt human as well as sympathetic approach in reforming prisoners. Prisoners should be given proper training during his tenure in the prison so that once he is released, he can earn his livelihood. Female IPS officer Kiran Bedi started yoga in the prisons to reform the criminals. So, we should adopt new methods and new techniques in reformation of criminals. Now, let us look into prison administration. There are three important authorities which are dealing with prison administration, that is the central government, state government and judiciary. So, let us look into the role played by each authority in prison administration. Center provides assistance to improve security in prison, repair and renovation of prisons, medical facility to the prisoners, developmental activities and other facilities which are necessary for the prisoners. The most important role of state is management and administration of prisons, and prisons comes under Schedule 7 List 2, which comes within the domain of state, and state can make any rule, regulation or law with respect to prison and prison administration. So, finally, judiciary lay down various aspects of prison administration through its judgments. So, after going through the main authorities in prison administration, let us look into who is a prisoner. Supreme Court laid down broad principles with respect to prisoner. The court held that person in prison does not become a non-person. Person in prison is entitled to all kinds of human rights. Prisoners should not suffer in the prison because of ill treatment or torture by prison authorities. Now, let us look into various enactments which are made in India during the British period as well as after independence to reform or to protect prisoners from time to time. Prisons in India are in terrible condition during British rule. Britishers set up various committees from time to time to make rules to change prison conditions. Various enactments are made based on the recommendations made by various committees. The most important enactments are shown in the following flowchart. The enactments are Prisons Act of 1894, Prisons Act of 1900, Transfer of Prisoners Act 1950, Exchange of Prisoners Act 1948, the Prisoners Attendance in Courts Act 1955, Identification of Prisoners Act 1920. These are the most important enactments which are made in India to deal with prison as well as prison administration. Under the Act of 1900, duty was imposed on the state to prepare a prison manual in administration of prisons within the state. So, beside that, in the year 2002, a committee was set up and the committee drafted model prison manual, which is not yet implemented in India. Now, out of all the enactments, the most important enactments are Prisons Act of 1894 and Prisoners Act of 1900. Let us look into Prisons Act 1894. This is the first enactment in India to regulate in administration of prisons. The main objective of the law is to reform prisoners. So, you can see even this enactment also talks about reformation of prisoners, even though this act is very old, made in the year 1894. And recently, the human rights activists and even many jurists, they are looking towards reformation of prisons and prisoners. The main object of the act is accommodation of prisoners, maintenance of discipline among the prisoners, food, clothing and bedding for prisoners, health as well as employment of prisoners. This act prohibits all kinds of inhuman treatment within the prisons. So, the treatment like whipping the prisoner is prohibited, confinement of prisoner within 4 walls in irons is prohibited, but a person can be confined in prison if they obtain permission from the court or the person is danger and is having tendency to escape from the prison. Prisoners got right to contact qualified legal advisor, and right to legal assistance is laid down under the Act of 1894. Same thing or same right was recognized even under our Indian Constitution. Let us look into authorities who are the important authorities in administration of prison. Highest authority in prison is DIG. Below him we are having Inspector General. Every prison shall have one superintendent assisted by jailer and other officers known as warders. So, beside these authorities, every prison shall have medical officer and medical subordinate for medical facilities with respect to prisoners in the prison. Now, after going through the importance of Prisons Act and authorities in administration of prison, now let us look into classification of prisoners. Prisoners are broadly classified into male and female prisoners. The purpose is separation, treatment and easy administration of prisoners. Prisoners are broadly classified into male and female. Once again, male and female prisoners are divided into civil prisoners, criminal prisoners, untrial prisoners, sick prisoners and political prisoners. Civil prisoners are prisoners who are where the civil court imprison these persons and they come before the prison to undergo the sentence. Any person who commits any crime or offence and convicted by the criminal court, those persons are known as criminal prisoners. Untrial prisoners are those prisoners who are accused in any crime and their case is pending before the court and the trial is going on before the court. They are known as untrial prisoners. Political prisoners, the persons who involved in politics commits any crime or offence and they are known as political prisoners. After going through the Prisons Act of 1894, now let us look into Prisoners Act of 1900. This act deals with prisoners in presidency towns, removal of prisoners, imprisonment of life prisoners, discharge of prisoners and attendance of prisoners. The other enactments which are dealing with prisoners are Exchange of Prisoners Act of 1948, Identification of Prisoners Act of 1948. In order to make changes and to recommend for better administration in prison administration, various committees are appointed from time to time with respect to prison reforms. Some of the most important committees are Indian Jail Reforms Committee 1919 headed by Sir Alexander Cadrew. Pakwasa Committee was appointed in the year 1949 in order to utilization of prisoners as laborers, and keeping prisoner in the prison is not sufficient. We have to provide some sort of employment, and you can use the prisoner as a laborer in doing some work, and you can pay remuneration for such work performed by the prisoner in the prison. In the year 1951, a committee was appointed under the chairmanship of Dr. W.C. Reckless in order to suggest prison reforms. Once again, in the year 1980, All India Jail Reforms Committee was appointed under the chairmanship of Justice A.N. Mullah. This committee recommended or suggested for National Prison Commission, classification of prisoners on scientific basis, need to formulate consolidated law to deal with prisons, and lastly, National Commission on Women Prisoners was established in the year 1988 under the guidance of Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer. So, Justice Krishna Iyer recommended for more induction of women in police force. After going through Prisons Act, now let us look into constitutional provisions dealing with prisoners. Constitution being the law of the land, this constitution also provides number of rights under the constitution and reformation of prisoners. Though prison admission is a state subject, they need to have national enactment in this matter. Part 3 of the constitution, which deals with fundamental rights, and part 4 of the Indian constitution deals with directive principles of state policy or fundamental enactments in governing the country. The most important fundamental rights are shown in the form of chart. The important fundamental rights applicable to prisoners under the Indian Constitution are Article 19, Article 14, Article 20 and Article 21. Let us look into these fundamental rights and when these fundamental rights can be applied with respect to prisoners. Article 14 prohibits any kind of discrimination by the state in prison administration. Once the act of the state is arbitrary or discriminative, a person can challenge the act of the government as violation of Article 14. But the same article permits reasonable classification. So, equality among the equals is permitted and state can go for reasonable classification. The next important article, Article 19(1), which deals with fundamental freedoms. These freedoms are available to every person, but with respect to prisoners, certain prisoners cannot enjoy certain freedoms. For illustration, right to movement, right to residence, right to settlement, right to profession. These rights are not available to prisoners because he is in confinement and is in prison or jail. But prisoner can avail certain rights. The rights like right to speech and right to expression, right to become a member of association. Prisoners can enjoy certain freedoms mentioned as per Article 19. Imprisonment and sentence has nothing to do with these freedoms. So, what are the freedoms available under 19? Prisoner can enjoy even though he is imprisoned or even though he is undergoing any sentence in any prison. These freedoms are related to the concept of reformation of prisoners. So, whatever freedoms we are giving to the prisoners under Article 19(1) is mainly with the intention to reform the prisoners. Violation of these freedoms can be challenged before the judiciary and you can avail appropriate remedy. Another important article, Article 21. This article mainly deals with personal right with respect to life and personal liberty. Judiciary interpreted this article and incorporated the concept prison administration in one of the most important landmark case, Maneka Gandhi versus Union of India in the year 1978. After this case, the Supreme Court brought in the concept of life and liberty and they introduced prison administration and they incorporated various rights which a prisoner can avail under Article 21. Supreme Court has exposed cruelty in prison and inform that need to control such sort of inhuman activity in prison. Supreme Court once again held that fundamental rights like Article 14, 19 and 21 are available to the prisoner as well as a free person. Prison walls do not keep the prisoner out of fundamental rights. The court mentioned many times there should not be punitive detention, solitary confinement, overcrowding of prisons, and court held that they need to provide speedy justice and legal assistance to the prisoner within the prisoner or outside prison. Court starts with the premise that fundamental rights do not stop at prison gates. The Supreme Court several times commented on prison administration. Authorities should not involve in causing physical injury, torture to prisoners in the name of maintaining discipline. And after going through the important rights available to the prisoner under Constitution, let us look into writ jurisdiction available to prisoner under the Indian Constitution. Violation of prisoners' rights under the Constitution by the state or any other authority. Prisoner can avail remedy under Article 32 or 226 by approaching Supreme Court or High Court respectively. Prisoner can avail the remedy and he can claim the remedy by himself or any person on his behalf. If any prisoner is detained in the prison without any justification, on the request made by the prisoner or any person on his behalf, court can issue a writ of habeas corpus. That means the other party has to produce the prisoner before the court. Court treat even a letter written by prisoner as a writ, and in such case also the court will take appropriate precautions and he can award appropriate remedy. After going through Constitution, now let us look into the next area, role of judiciary and prisoners. The Supreme Court of India included many rights that are applicable to prisoners in administration of criminal justice. The following rights can be availed by prisoner due to judicial interpretation: fair trial, speedy trial. Whenever the trial is conducted, it will be fair and need to speed up the matters by the court. Besides that, court also mentioned that need to establish more criminal courts. There should not be overcrowding. They need to speed up the matters. Right to legal assistance is right available to prisoners. Provision of handcuffings of under trials. Police torture, need to release prisoners on personal bond or personal bail. Prison grievances should be tackled by the prison authority in a proper manner. All these are the rights incorporated by the judiciary through its judicial interpretations. Besides these rights, in the year 1980, because of All India Committee on Jail Reforms, based on the recommendations made by the committee, they prepared Model Prison Manual 2003, and in this manual various rights are incorporated with respect to prisoners. Those rights are right to human dignity. Prisoner is a human being. He should not be subjected to any kind of inhuman treatment or torture or any kind of violation against prisoner. Right to basic minimum needs. Prisoners also can avail all kinds of basic needs like shelter, food, clothing, medical facility and other kinds of basic facilities. Right to communication and interview. Prisoners are having right to verify what is happening in the country as well as outside the country. In order to communicate, they need to provide mass media or any methods for prisoners communication, and prisoners also having right to interview by the press and other people. Right to access to law. Prisoners having right and they can claim for legal assistance if they are incapable to provide their legal practitioner, and they are having right to know the reasons for their detention or their any kind of violation. Rights against arbitrary prisoners. When a prisoner is detained in prison by arbitrary action of the prison authorities, prisoner is having a right to inform the authorities to follow principles of natural justice. He can defend his case and need on the authorities to give him the reasons why he was detained on the grounds of discipline. The next right is right to meaningful and gainful employment. So, if the prisoner is doing any employment in the prison, and it is the duty of the authorities to provide wages for the employment done by the prisoner in the prison. Right to be released on due date. Prisoners should not be detained beyond the due date. So, once the prisoner is detained by the authorities beyond the due date, in number of judgment, the Supreme Court informed the state to provide compensation. So, detaining any person beyond the due date is a liability on the state government itself. Right to reformation. So, you have seen that one of the most important right is the right to reformation. Every country and human rights activists are mainly focusing towards reformation. Authorities and every person should adopt human as well as sympathetic approach towards prisoners in their reform. We should provide all facilities which are available to reform the prisoners. And after going through rights available to prisoners, now let us look into various provisions available under criminal law dealing with prisoners. If federal criminal provisions are available under two important enactments, that is Indian Penal Code 1860 and Criminal Procedure Code 1973. Prisoners' sentence can be commuted or reduced as per IPC 1860. So, commutation means reduction in sentence. So, what is the sentence awarded to prisoner? It can be reduced or it can be commuted as per section 54 and 55 of IPC. Section 54 says that whenever a person is undergoing the sentence of death, death sentence can be commuted to life imprisonment by the appropriate authority without consenting the prisoner. So, similarly, as per section 55, the appropriate government without the consent of the prisoner can commute life imprisonment to any punishment not exceeding 14 years sentence. So, that's why many people are having the intention life imprisonment 14 years sentence. The state can release the prisoners after completion of 14 years because the state is not in a financial capacity to maintain prisoner forever. But according to recent Supreme Court judgment, life means lifelong unless the state or any authority interferes and reduces their sentence into any other sentence. If read a criminal law, I inform that generally we are dealing with two important aspects, that is IPC and CRPC. IPC mainly deals with commutation of sentence which are discussed under section 54 and 55. Under CRPC, various provisions are made with respect to prisoners. Those provisions are suspension or remission of sentence, bail to the prisoner, release of the prisoner and commutation of sentence with respect to prisoners. These are four important provisions available under CRPC. Let us examine these provisions as per CRPC 1973. CRPC mainly deals with procedure. Authorities should follow the procedure laid down under the CRPC. If the authority deviates the procedure, then the prisoner can approach the court and can avail appropriate remedy. So, one of the most important provisions applicable to prisoners under CRPC 1973 is section 164. This section says that the authority should follow the procedure laid down under section 164 in case of confession made by the accused person. If the procedure is not followed, then it violates section 164 of CRPC. The next important section is section 432. This section empowers the appropriate government to suspend execution or remittance of punishment. Section 433 deals with commutation of sentence. So, this section mainly deals with procedure in case of commutation of sentence as per section 54 and 50 of IPC 1860. The next important sections are section 436 and 437. These two sections deals with release of the accused person or detainee on bail. One more section which was inserted by way of amendment, that is section 436A. This section informs that any untried prisoner whose trial is pending before the court, after completion of half of the sentence, for that punishment, the person should be released on personal bond with or without sureties. With respect to commutation of sentence, three authorities comes into picture. One is appropriate government, second is Supreme Court, and third is President of India and Governor of the state. So, let us look into commutation and role of judiciary. Supreme Court played an important role with respect to commutation of death sentence to life imprisonment. Whenever there is delay in disposal of mercy petition by the President of India, if the delay is unreasonable without any justification, the court will commute death sentence to life imprisonment. Delay in the execution of death sentence exceeds 2 years, court can commute death sentence to life imprisonment. This was held by the Supreme Court in Vatheeshwaran's case. Whenever the delay is more than 2 years, Supreme Court can reduce or commute death sentence to life imprisonment. But recently in Bullard's case, Supreme Court refused to commute death sentence to life imprisonment on the grounds if the person is a terrorist, in that case no need to commute death sentence to life imprisonment. Now, let us look into role played by President and Governor with respect to pardoning, suspension and remission of sentence. So, power to grant pardon is available to President and Governor of the state. This power is available to President and Governor under Article 72 and 161 of Indian Constitution. President can grant pardon, suspend, remit or commute sentence of any person including a prisoner. Governor can pardon, reprieve or respite or remit the punishment. So, after going through various authorities, various provisions dealing with prisoners, let us bring into what are drawbacks with respect to prison administration and prisoners. Need to create awareness about the rights of prisoners, because most of the prisoners are not aware about their rights. Unless you create awareness, they cannot fight for their rights. Need to avoid inhuman as well as degrading treatment against the prisoners by the prison authority or police authority. We should follow reformative technique. If we try to degrade them, they may become inhuman and difficult to reform such criminals. Need to adopt reformative techniques. The techniques like parole and furlough are given, and even the courts are regularly releasing the criminals on parole as well as furlough in case of necessity. No delay in granting pardon, suspension or commutation or remission of sentence. Even when the mercy petition is filed before the President of India, there is need to dispose the petition as early as possible. There should not be a delay in dealing with mercy petitions. So, during this presentation, we have gone through various enactments made by the Indian government as well as Britishers from time to time to deal with prison and prison reforms. And we have gone through various constitutional provisions, and I discussed about various criminal provisions dealing with prisoners and prison administration, and even we discussed about the various authorities having powers to commute sentence of prisoners into any sentence or even having power to pardon them. After going through all these rights available to prisoners, and you understood what extent need to reform the prisoners and what are methods you can follow in reforming the prisoners. Thank you for your patient listening.